let's take a look at the final member of the Coneheads. Let's get started. Welcome back to my channel. In today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at Transformers, Earthrise, WFC, Target Exclusive, Thrust. And if you're new around here, remember to subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and leave a comment. So, let's get started. I'm going to start with the box here, and I like that art right there of Thrust in jet mode. I think that's pretty cool. Then we got Earthrise right here, and that character is not even in the show, which is very disappointing. Then on the back, we got Thrust here, 23 steps, and then we got him transforming into jet mode, Cybertronian villains. So here we have Thrust out of the box, and he looks amazing. The red, the black, a little bit of silver right here. It's very, very cool. Very detailed. The only thing I notice, of the three Coneheads, this one does not have any black paint on the nose. But we'll take a look at that a little bit closer later. But overall, you got the small Decepticon logos there in purple, which is very, very cool. Underneath, we got this purple that do match up. We got that gold, the red, and the black. Looks very, very nice. And if anybody was wondering, these do not move. I thought they would, but they decided to go with just a solid piece there, which is totally fine. Do have a 5mm port there, and then we have two underneath, and then one under here where the gun is, and the same goes for over here. Overall, Thrust is absolutely amazing in jet mode. And here I have the Coneheads all next to each other in jet mode. So here is Ramjet and Dirge with Thrust. So as you can see, each of these figures individually have different wings. And I'm glad they did that to make sure they stand out differently besides just their colors, like they do in G1. This is fantastic to have this whole set. And it's very hard to come by since these two are Amazon exclusive, and this is a Target exclusive. But overall, we got the red on the white. Looks very, very cool. And then we have the blue on the red. So it's like an evil trio of red, white, and blue. But overall, very cool. And one more thing. Underneath, just wanted to show off that they have different knees on the coloring. That has more like a lighter purple over there for Thrust. This is just all white, and then we got a darker purple on this one. But overall, all three figures have this gold right here. I just want to show that right here. The exact same color here. So they're in robot mode. You'll be able to take a look a little bit closer. And one more thing. They come with the same exact blasters. There's nothing different about them. The exact same thing. And to do the transformation, just remove the blasters just to make it a little bit easier. And I'll go through this. And I find this one to be easier to transform than the rest. The only thing is just keep in mind that for my copy, I've only transformed this a couple of times, but it's the exact same thing as Ramjet and Dirge, and I've handled them quite a bit in transforming. So some of the things are very, very stiff still. There we go. There we go. This is going to be the tough part. Getting this to unhinge, get its arms out. Then you're going to free this piece back here. Then you're going to turn it right there. And then bring that down, collapse. And you gotta line up these sides right here with the chest. There we go. Yep, that's right. Push this back. Got his blasters onto his arms. And he looks awesome. And just to go over, Thrust has shoulder mobility like that. He can go all the way around doing a full 360, except for his wings right here block his arm going all the way around. And on my copy, his wing is a little loose here versus this one is a little bit too. So just be very careful with that because they are pegged in on this side. It's very hard to see. But you don't want to have that problem where they're falling off and everything. So be careful. I have the same problem with Dirge with one of his smaller part of his wings. So overall, this moves up and down. So he can kick forward about that far. He does have more than 90-degree bend on the knee. He does have a bicep swivel and 90 degrees on the elbow. And his wrist articulation is just moving up for the transformation. Nothing more. His head is... It is on a ball joint, but I can't get this thing to budge, so I'm not going to risk it. It does have ankle articulation. And these wings right here, they don't move at all, so don't try to move these. I'm actually glad that they don't, so it kind of acts as like an extra heel or something to keep him standing up, even though he doesn't need them. And here I have Thrust next to Dirge and Ramjet. And they are very similar in some ways with the transformation, but they're different with the wings near the end for the final touching. Their face sculpts are just about the same. Let's take a look here. We're going to take a look at Thrust and Ramjet, and they look the same. But then when you get the Dirge, he looks like he's screaming or yelling or something. His mouth is open while Thrust isn't. So he stands out uniquely that way. Another thing, the knees, like I said earlier, I pointed out, all have different colors. Overall, their paints are obviously different. We know that. But then the wings are the big standout between all three figures. You have Thrust with these smaller wings, and then you got these different types. Then you got Dirge over here with the larger ones at the bottom. And then when you look at him on the back, he has these small ones on the upper part, which is very different between Thrust and Dirge. Now when you get the Ramjet and Thrust, you got these real small ones up at the top, while these right here are technically the top. And then on the bottom, he has these big large wings with thrusters versus Thrust only has these little ones right here. So there are differences between all three figures. And like I said, Ramjet and Dirge are Amazon exclusive 2-pack set, while Thrust is the new Target exclusive that just released right around Christmas. So you have the chance to pick up these figures. I would do so immediately. I've seen the 2-pack on Amazon a few times pop up here and there, and it goes out of stock. And then Thrust was just released, like I said. So I would highly recommend searching for these figures, and don't pay a scalper price. You will get them. It's just going to take some time. Just be patient. My final thoughts on Transformers Earthrise. Target exclusive, Thrust. Overall, it's a fantastic figure. If you're trying to complete the Coneheads, if you're able to, I would definitely try to pick this sucker up as quick as possible without paying a scalper price. Just keep checking Target online or checking your stores that are local to you, and hopefully you get lucky. One more thing. I forgot to mention, thrust also does not have any waist articulation, just like the rest of the Seekers. But that's the only downside I see with this figure, other than these wings are just a slight bit loose. And you gotta be careful when you take them out of the package, because there's no like plastic like holding them in. It's just a plastic covering, and the way they put these in, the wings are really locked in. I would prefer if you cut the plastic all the way up to the figure, being careful, and release them, than trying to pull the thing out, because I think that's why my figure got a little loose when I was trying to get them out. And I was being very careful as well. So just a helpful tip on that, because you don't want one of these wings falling off, because it looks like it's going to be a little bit harder to keep these on compared to these two. But overall, I'm happy with this figure. And I have nothing more to say but just positive things. The only thing is waist articulation and the loose wings, and that's not a deal breaker, in my opinion, for a $30 figure. So I rank this guy as like a 10 out of 10, along with his fellow Coneheads. So that's it for the review. Thank you for watching, and I'll be bringing more Transformer content very soon. And one more thing. I have no idea if these three guys survived Earthrise. Spoilers.